and grand afternoon on this Monday, beautiful afternoon. Today we are going to be talking about some sensitive information. Excuse me. And the reason being for that is because it's time to move forward and it's time to continue to shift the energy. No matter how hard the wind is coming, it's time to shift because it is what it is. Whatever's going to happen, it has already been written in the stars. So, today I come before you and we're going to be talking about land patterns and the indigenous people and why Revelation 3 is so important, especially when it comes to the church of the letter to the churches. Okay? So, as prophecy proceeds, all Holy Spirit led, no one can touch this. It is ordained by the Most High. As I come to present and fulfill prophecy, no one can stop what I have. And it's only going to be for those who are supposed to be activated in such a time. Okay? So, let's take a little listen, a big listen, not a little, a big, huge listen. And don't take this with a grain of salt. Okay? Let's go. This is a movement.
I'm here today as a guest on land that was stolen from the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho nations. Land that many other tribal nations thought of as home before those relationships were written over by settler colonialism. So land acknowledgements like this have become pretty commonplace at the beginning of events, at universities, sometimes in our email signatures. But I've always found them to be kind of confusing. Like, once you admit something is stolen, aren't you supposed to give it back? So if there's anyone listening who has a couple hundred spare acres that you're feeling guilty about, just contact your local tribal government. We would be happy to relieve you of that burden. That's probably not you, right? Maybe you've heard of this movement to return land to Indigenous people, but you're thinking, I can barely afford rent. What is it I'm supposed to be giving back? That's what I want to clarify today. Because not only is getting land back in Indigenous hands in your best interest, and the best interest of the land itself, there's ways anyone can help make it happen. I'm a descendant of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indians, which is part of the Anishinaabe Nation of the Great Lakes region.
What? Now, I'm going to be presenting, okay, a list of assignments that are in front of you in plain view sight. So we're going to be starting with let's start with this right here. When you type in, you're always going to type in the words backwards, right? Don't ever put indigenous in the front. Always put America lands patterns indigenous. Okay? You'll thank me later. So over here we have so many topics going on. Okay? And it's very important that we take heed to this. Right? Because there's a shift going on. The timelines are here. There's no need to go through anybody. Okay? These patterns, right, are here for you. That's something they could have never erased, no matter how many years and centuries this has been going on. So, these are links that you can actually tap into. The patterns are for you. What are the 4 native colors? Okay, y'all? First of all, these timelines are to be utilized. So let's go ahead and do that. What does the number 7 mean in Native American? A pause. Have you ever wondered what the number 7 means? So did. It be little things like this, right? It represents a pause. They said it is also referred as, okay? Next, what can you say pow wow anymore? This is a form of cultural appropriation. What are the 5 races? Races. Okay, y'all? Races. The Caucasoid race, the Mongolian race, the Ethiopian race, later term Negroid, the American Indian race, and the Malayan race, whatever how you say that. Okay? What blood type are the most Native Americans? Oh. Okay? It's time to remember thyself. Time to remember thyself. Right? But anyway, what does the Native American DNA not show up? There's a difference between lineage and DNA. Okay? So all that stuff they be talking about is always backwards. I want y'all to think about this. If it resonates, let it meditate. And if it don't apply, please let it fly. Indigenous, Americans, regions, ancestry support, right? All this is surrounding who? Okay? I'll wait. I'll just wait. Let's go up. So, everything is backwards, right? American Indian or Alaska Native, right? Africa. First of all, what are the 7 churches, bro? What are the 7 indigenous regions? Africa, the Arctic, Asia, Central and South America, and the Caribbean, Eastern Europe, Russian Federation, Central Asia, and Transcaucasia, North America, and the Pacific. Okay? Yeah. So now that we established that, right? Let's go to the next. All right. Let's go. Let me see. It has to be all the way over here. So yeah, let me see. Okay, cool. So we know which one that one is. So 5 federal race categories. Office of Management and Budget language for definitions. American Indian or Alaska Native, a person having origins in any of the original people of North and South America, including Central America, and who maintains tribal affiliation or community attachments. Asian, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of the Far East, Southeast Asia, or the Indian subcontinent, including, for example, Cambodia, China, India, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Pakistan, the Philippine Islands, Thailand, and Vietnam, Asian. Black or American, a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. Let me show y'all how they did this, y'all. Okay? Let's be clear. Let's be clear. All right? This is a good way to understand the unjust and the demographic and how they built this system called the Matrix, you know. So let's be clear, you know. Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islanders, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Hawaii, Guam, Samoa, or other Pacific Islands. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. Did you hear me right? Did you hear me right? Did you hear me? This right here is very telling. Very, very, very so much telling. Okay? Thing is, they put it in your face. Why would white be under a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa? North Africa. That's crazy to me. So, yeah. Alright. Next. Let's do a little dive in how the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs Indigenous people feel and how they have been orchestrating this time, trying to do something with the timelines when it comes to since 2020 to 2022, right? Memberships. The permanent forum services as an adversary body to the Economic and Social Council of the ECOSOC, with a mandate to discuss indigenous issues relating to economic and social development, culture, environment, education, health, and human rights. The Permanent Forum holds annual sessions of 10 working days each year, generally in April and May. The Permanent Forum consists of 16 members. See this right here, resolution. The permanent, 8 to be nominated by governments and elected ECOSOC, whatever. Vacancies have been filled for membership in the Permanent Forum for the period of January 2020 to December 2022. Now we're in 2026. Okay. It had to be a shift. It had to be a shift. They couldn't do really nothing too much with that though, as y'all can see. This single group of first American migrants crossed over through the land bridge between Asia and America that existed during the what? Ice Age. By studying variations in Native American DNA sequences, the international team found that while most of the Native American populations arose from the first migration to subsequent migrations also made important genetic contributions. The paper is published in the journal Nature Today, right? Y'all may want to go take a look at that. But it does talk about certain areas, right? Scientists have found that Native American populations from Canada to the southern tip of Chile arose from at least 3 migrations, with the majority descended entirely from a single group of first American migrants more than 15,000 years ago. Okay, check that out. Next here we have now this is so crazy because when we talk about the Transcaucasia, we're talking about Caucasus Mountains, Georgia, in the northern Azerbaijan, whatever, in the east and Armenia, Russia, what else? Caspian Sea, Iran, Turkey, and the Black Sea. Okay, that is called the Transcaucasia. Okay, and this Transcaucasia, it belongs to the indigenous people. Okay, everything belongs to indigenous people. But who are the indigenous people? Right? Right. So it's little things like that, in the history of the last ice cold age, with the burning land bridge, where at that time people were escaping, right? They were able to use that bridge. The barren land bridge allowed plants, animals like mammals, bison, horses, and eventually humans to migrate from Asia to North America, right? Though its emergence time during the last whatever that word is period was later than previously brought around 36,000 years ago. Okay, so the whole world is just mixed up. Then we have this native land digital space where stories of land and waters are carried by those who walk in ancestral relationships with them, right? So you can explore this map. It's called Native Land and Digital, right? We also have which indigenous lands are you on maps, okay? This map will show you what indigenous land you are currently on. And it's crazy because it says President Biden became the first president to officially recognize Indigenous People Day in 2021 and did so again this year. It falls, let me see. It falls on the same day as Columbus Day, okay, which was established by Italian American groups to celebrate their heritage and to acknowledge the mistreatment of the immigrant group in the U.S. Right? Indigenous Peoples Day is a time of reflection, recognition, and celebration of the role Native people have played in U.S. history, as NPR has reported. Okay, so we do have some stuff that y'all can actually go through And even on Facebook, there's a lot of stuff going on. How they took over, basically, how they fucking took over. Like, it's just crazy. Excuse my French. But yeah, that's what I have for y'all right now, and that was all Holy Spirit led. And I wanted to just give y'all something to work with, so you can actually go and remember anything that you want to find. It's always going to be backwards. Type it in backwards. It is what it is. Like, share, subscribe. Peace. Come on now.